Hello and welcome back to MyArtCube. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Nice to have you on the channel. Today I would like to actually do something a little bit different. Today I would like to do some intuitive painting or very basic practice painting using a new product. You see I have them lined up here, some acrylic ink colors that I really love. So I love the colors. I don't know anything about acrylic inks, however. So this is all new to me. So we'll be using acrylic inks in an intuitive painting process. Here I have an 8x10 little canvas board, nothing fancy, nothing too expensive, very easily accessible. I think I got this from my local Walmart. And so they come in a little pack of 8x10s, and you can just pick those up and use those as your experimental surface, or whatever paint you're using. If you're using watercolors, paint along. If you're using acrylics, paint along. If you're using oils, whatever you've got, oil pastels, it doesn't matter. But you can just go ahead and do an intuitive painting as well. And I think the important thing that I want to discuss here is that when you're doing an intuitive or abstracted painting, sometimes it's not really about the outcome. Sometimes it's about getting through, if you're stuck in your art, kind of in a rut, and you're just having problems getting ideas or figuring out new ways of approaching things. Sometimes it's important to just let go and let the process take over and not worry about the outcome so much. And I think a lot of us get stuck on the outcome. We want to make these beautiful masterpieces that everybody loves and goes, ooh, you made that, that's amazing. But you know what? It's not about that. Art practice is sometimes just that, it's practice. And you want to give yourself the space to make mistakes. You want to give yourself the space to grow as an artist, wherever you are in your art journey. If you're at the very beginning, middle, if you're an experienced fine artist, sometimes it's important to just give yourself the space to let go and have some fun. So it's important to have fun in your art practice, generally speaking, but especially when you're trying a new product and you're just sort of experimenting with it. Maybe swatching really just isn't your thing and you'd like to try a little experimental piece. Well, if you do that, you might find some interesting things happen. One, you could lower your expectations for what the outcome is. And number two, you could have a lot of fun in the process. And number three, well, you might surprise yourself. You just never know what's going to actually happen when you're doing intuitive or abstracted painting like that. So if you don't have an abstract painting practice already or an intuitive painting practice already, trying that for the first time can be very intimidating. It's kind of going in without a big plan. It's going in without example master study art. It's going in without an intricate drawing and planning of how you're going to layer up the colors. So sometimes it's just important to let yourself have that fun, have that space, and just, not worry about the outcome. So that's what we're going to do here today. Enough of me rambling on here. So let me show you this product that I've got here. These are new to me. They're older bottles, but I've never used them. I've always been intimidated by them. And I think that's just silly on my part. So I'm going to go ahead and use these today. I'm going to incorporate these into an acrylic art painting. So a mixed media kind of a deal with just regular acrylic paints and these acrylic inks on top, or maybe even layered underneath. I'm not sure. See, I'm not sure how to use these, but that's the fun. So these are, and I haven't even watched videos on how to use these, so I really don't know. But I think they're going to be a lot of fun. This is Daler Rowney's FW Pearlescent Liquid Acrylic. This particular color here is called Genisis Green, and it is just fabulous. Look at that color. Oh, it is beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? That is a gorgeous light green. I love greens like this. This is like my favorite green color. And I'm also going to incorporate some gold, because gold is always fun. And so we're going to see if I can incorporate this gold. It's Imitation Gold FW, again by Daler Rowney. Beautiful. Here we have a little oddball. This one is, I love this color though. It's Vivid Violet, and it's by Artist Loft Acrylic ink. So that's a Michaels brand, and it's the same size as the FW bottles. And it's a very pretty color. You can see it's got some dust on it because I have not used them. And yeah, so we're going to incorporate that if we can. And last but not least is another FW. I got some gold speckles from some other paint on there. But this is indigo, and I love indigo. Indigo is a great color to go with gold and pink and other colors like that. It's a really dark blue. It's a dark inky blue. I don't know how well this is coming into focus. The camera's being a little fussy today. But yeah, so that's a dark inky blue. And so I'm going to try to incorporate these 4 colors into a painting that is going to be pretty abstract, possibly mountains, trees, and a sun and a sunset, possibly nothing at all. It just depends on how this process goes. It might just be a bunch of colors in an intuitive and abstract format. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try my best to just let go and enjoy my process here. Let me move these out of the way real quick. So I think that it's important to keep perspective and not take yourself so seriously all the time, because I have a tendency to get tensed up and worried about the art and the outcome, and I think sometimes that can be counterproductive in your art practice when you're just always worried about the outcome and making pretty, acceptable, beautiful art that other people will like. I think there's a downside to that, and the downside is you're not going to grow as easily, because we learn from mistakes as human beings, and if you're not letting yourself make some errors, you're probably not going to grow as quickly. And so I think I've suffered from this scenario quite a while. I've always been stuck on the outcome and not focused enough on just having the joy of the process be my favorite thing to do, you know? So we want art to be good for us. We want it to be therapeutic, because it is therapeutic. You want it to be a good coping skill in life. So it's a great it's not just a great hobby. Art can be a great coping skill and a way of sort of escaping things that are on your mind and managing stress and whatnot. Art can be a wonderful outlet, essentially. So enough of me rambling about the great things about art. Let's just get to this intuitive painting, shall we? Okay, so I'll show you this color. This is ridiculously bright. This is awesome. This is Fluorescent Pink by Liquitex Basic Acrylics. And I'm not using it as a fluorescent color. I don't have a special light to light this up. If it is something that lights up under a black light, I don't know for sure, but it does say fluorescent. So I would imagine it does. It doesn't really say what it will do and won't do. But in any case, this is a fairly transparent color. So I'm going to be using this and mixing with some really old cadmium yellow medium and just making a little sunset here, or some kind of, I don't know, let's just see what happens. It might be a sunset. It might not be anything at all. So I'm going to put some of that down. All right. And go ahead and put some of this next to it. This yellow. I'm trying to use up my old colors, and I think this yellow is just about spoiled. It's gooey, but I'm still going to use it. Because why not? I'll just mash it up with the... If I mash it up with this little, oh, what are they called? I'm forgetting terms right now, but if I just mash it up with this little spatula thing, should be all right. Yeah, it's kind of all right. It's kind of gooey. No, I think it's still usable. I'm not going to be too picky. It's an older paint, of course. I've let that sit for a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to put down the yellow just to see what happens and see how it performs. It is an older paint, like I said. So let me just get some paper towel and clean this off real quick. All right. Okie dokie. So I may speed up parts of this video just for your convenience, and so you're not sitting here listening to me talk to myself and ramble a little bit. But yeah. So I got the paintbrush just slightly wet, and I'm using this is a 1-inch Zen angled flat by Royal Langnickel. Can't say it. Wonder if it'll show up on the camera. Anyway, I'm using a angled flat, 1 inch. Whatever brand is whatever brand, it doesn't matter at this point. And I'm just filling in that yellow. That yellow is really strong, but I don't mind it. I like bright colors. Makes me happy. And I'm not going to be fussy about this. Yeah, that is definitely a nice bright yellow. Okay. And I might water it down just a tiny bit. And let's go over the rest of this canvas. And yeah. I'm going to cover up my sun. Oh, there goes the sun. There it goes. And here we go. All right. So I've got a layer on there. I already feel better about the process because nothing worse than a blank canvas just staring back at you, right? Like, what are you going to put down? I don't even know, right? It becomes one of those things where it's not so intuitive. So I drew something I drew hills, the sun, and the trees in yellow pencil. It's very hard to see. Just to get something on the canvas. So I felt like I had a direction of some kind. But it may not be the end result at all. So it was just to break up the white of the canvas and to get me to start doing something with it. So just draw something on your canvas if you don't know what to do and start working with it. If it's not the end result, like if you don't end up making a landscape with mountains and trees, don't worry about it. It's not about the result. Intuitive painting is just intuitive painting. You're just having fun, literally. It doesn't have to be a fancy term like intuitive painting. Just have fun. Okay. I'm going to add some pink on top of that. Ooh, this is pretty. It's creating an orange. So I could do a little gradient from the top. Now I'm getting fussy. See, now it shouldn't matter where I put this because I don't want to be fussy or particular about this. But I do like that orange. Ooh. It's mixing to create this pretty color. Maybe I don't want to over mix it. Maybe I want some brush strokes in there. I don't know. Whatever works. Okay, so I mixed orange on the actual canvas. That's cool. See, I don't even know what I'm going to do. It doesn't even matter. It does not matter. This is for funsies. Just for fun. Not being too serious about it. Oh, I do love that orange. So, note to self, cadmium yellow. I'm learning, see? Cadmium yellow plus fluorescent pink make a gorgeous orange. I'm going to add some more pink at the top and just because I can. And I'm going to make this kind of a little, I don't know, maybe clouds? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what this is. I'm not worried about it. Okay. All right, so there's some streaks of pink in there. I think that's pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty, but it doesn't hurt that it is. I'm going to add some more pink, and I'm going to load the side of the brush with a little bit of that gooey yellow and just see what happens. Okay. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Just making more orange at this point. I'm trying to get some of the pink and some of the yellow to just show up by itself. I should probably clean out my brush and just load with one of the colors. Okay, so that's fun. I like that. Okay. Now, I am going to clean off my brush just a little bit. So we'll just wipe this off with a paper towel and then go into the water and rinse it just a little bit. Okay. That orange is so bright. I wonder if it shows up on camera as bright as it is in person. I'm looking at my screen and I'm not sure it's as bright on the camera. It is so bright. It is so pretty. And I'm going to add in, just for fun, a little swath of this, a little swath of this. Yeah, just like that. Maybe make some pink clouds. Why not? We can have pink clouds if we want to. This is like a California sunset. Or California sunset where all the pollution lights up. You can tell I'm originally from California. But it's pretty. In any case, I digress. I'm a little off track with that, but that's okay. All right. Sadly, this kind of looks, oh, I'm not even going to say it, but, well, with all the wildfires they've been having in California, it's kind of scary. I feel so bad, and I feel so, my heart goes out to the people suffering from wildfires in California right now, because that is just horrendous, and Oregon especially as well. But that's just a sad note, so let's not go too in depth in that. Yeah. Being originally from California, I feel so bad when people are suffering out there too. I feel bad when people suffer in general, period, but yeah. So let's pretend this is like a beach sunset. Liven things up a little here. But I think that I was doing mountains in a forest. You could still get an orange sunset. Clouds might not normally be this pink, but you know what? If I'm inverting the colors a little bit, that's okay. You know? If I'm doing warm colors for the sky and cool colors for the mountains, that's kind of like backwards of what you would normally paint for realism. But this is not about realism. This is about having fun and just picking out colors I like and that you like, and having fun with those colors and just being really free about it, not worrying so much, not being too particular about the process. And the nice thing about acrylics is they dry quickly, so you can layer these up after a short period of time pretty quickly. So I'm just going back and forth with my with my angled brush, my angled flat, and just creating some texture in the painting. And I'm just going to add a little yellow up in this upper right corner. I want to reserve this for gold possibly, although I don't know if gold on orange works, but I'm being too fussy. Remember, it doesn't matter if it works. What matters is that you're enjoying your process. It doesn't hurt if it's pretty, but it doesn't have to be pretty, I think is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so we've got kind of a sky going here. Let's see, maybe we should start down here so this can dry a little. Just being pragmatic about that. So I'm going to go from dark blue to medium blue to light blue according to my little sketched out plan that I do not necessarily have to follow. Let's do this blue. I think this blue is fine. Maybe mix it with a little bit of the yellow. Okay. So I don't think you can, I think the blue is off camera, but it's this blue. It's an Amsterdam acrylic and it's called Brilliant Blue. I'm not even on camera showing you, but there it is. And I'm going to do this for the bottom mountainscape and just see how that turns out. All an experiment, all in the name of fun. Ooh, that is really brilliant blue. They aren't kidding. I love bright colors, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm all about the rainbow. Like, if it's a bright color and it's pretty and I swear, I'm like a kitten. Shiny objects, just anything, things that make noise. My attention span is just not extensive. Loud noises, just anything distracts me. But nothing gets me quite like bright colors. I do love them. Yeah, this is beautiful. Oh. So sometimes it's just about enjoying the process and enjoying the art supplies. It's not always about that outcome. So, like I said before, if you're having fun, that's what really matters. Nothing else matters as much as you just enjoying your process, right? Sometimes we just gotta let ourselves have that space, like I talked about earlier. To make mistakes, to do weird stuff on the canvas and see what happens. All right, so that's my first hill, if you want to call that a hill. Kind of looks like a waterfront, but I'm not worried. I'm gonna add some more blue. I think that this could be a thicker layer here. Yeah. Keep it going. I think I'll pick this up and just paint the underside a little bit. I know it will stick slightly to the wood of the easel, but it'll come off later. I don't like edges that aren't covered. This is me being too meticulous as usual. Really? I need to follow my own advice, don't I? Stop being so particular. All right, there we go. So there's a blue hill. That's what I'm going to call it. And because I call it that, that's what it is. It's a blue hill. Muddying up my water over here. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty muddy. If you ever want to know what colors make mud, just check out your water. Apparently pink, orange, and blue will make mud. They are fairly opposite on the color wheel, so yeah. let's put, I'm trying to decide what to put here on this second little hill. Maybe we go with, maybe phthalo blue. I have old phthalo blue. This is a Grumbacher Academy phthalo blue that needs to get used up. So why not use that? If I can get it open. Ooh, that was tough. That was unnecessarily difficult. All right, so I'm going to put that next to the light blue and just put a dab of that and add that to the canvas somewhere, probably on that second hill. Okay. Here comes phthalo blue. I'm using the same brush for all of this. Like I said, I'm not being fussy. This is just me putting down some foundational layers of color. Ooh, that's nice and dark. Ooh. I like that. So that phthalo blue by Grumbacher is really strong, nicely pigmented, high quality. It looks good. Sometimes it just gives you a chance to evaluate your products that you have and really get a feel for what they can do and what their limitations are. So go up a little on this side. Yeah. Just following the pattern here. I'm going to leave the brush strokes in because they look really good in this blue. Yeah. So I always add a little water to my brush before using acrylics. I think that's pretty standard. It just helps them flow a little bit better, but not a lot of water. So you just want a slightly dampened brush in a lot of cases, but whatever works for you. That's just what I do. That is not always what you have to do. Let's see. Am I being too particular? I have to ask myself that at every step of this. Am I being fussy over the painting? And if it's yes, I need to move on. And just keep adding some layers. This isn't very abstract, is it? If it was totally abstract, or I'm sorry, I'm not saying that right, abstract. If it was totally abstract, it would be hard to recognize anything as anything. So a sunset wouldn't look like a sunset and the hills wouldn't look like hills necessarily. This depends on the level of abstraction you want in your piece. But yeah, I like this color. This is a really strong phthalo blue. Almost looks Prussian to me. Prussian blue. And I'm just doing little semicircle shapes because I like the brushstroke look in this. Makes me wonder if I should go down to this level and add a layer of brushstrokes in there, maybe with this actual blue mixed in. So maybe if I mix these blues together, so it's not such a stark contrast. See, now I'm being fussy. I'm going to mix these two together. And more of the bright blue. Yeah, I like that blue a little bit better. That's just having fun mixing some colors. I really should mix with the palette knife. That's what it's called, a palette knife. I should mix with the palette knife and not with the brush because that's how you mess up your brushes. But I'm just quickly trying to get that. Okay, so there's a tree. It's not a great tree, but it's not a bad tree. It's just a tree. All right. Well, I think that's it. At least I think I'm done. I might be done. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure what else I want to do with this little experiment. What I can say is that I really enjoyed, really enjoyed doing these dripping effects with the acrylic inks. So these guys were great. And of the acrylic inks, I'm kind of surprised, but my preference isn't the Daler Rowney. It's actually the Artist Loft acrylic ink. I really enjoyed this opaque kind of vivid violet color that I've got here. Let me show you a little closer. So this vivid violet really performed well on this top layer. And I had a lot of fun. So I was impressed also with the behavior of this fluorescent pink for the yellow and orange sky. So just mixing that fluorescent pink with a cadmium yellow produced that skyline, and that was a lot of fun. I also experimented with some foil, and the foil was a good time. A little messy, a little tedious, but I still enjoyed it. And I'm a little disappointed in this. So this was a good experiment. This was a good learning curve for me. The Daler Rowney Imitation Gold went on a little thin and not as opaque as I would have liked. And let me see if it says opaque on here. Probably depends on how you apply it. But it came on there fairly transparent, but then I'm putting it over a really dark blue for the drips and for the top layer. So that might be why it didn't go on as thickly and it's more see-through, because it is over a very dark color. Also not as opaque as the Artist Loft. This Daler Rowney, the pearlescent Genisis green, which I love the green color, that's almost that neon green at the bottom there. This color is beautiful, but I don't think I have the right application for it yet. So we're gonna keep experimenting with that. And I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. Like I said, just letting go and enjoying the process and trying something new. You never know what you're gonna get. I might put a little tree here. I'm debating whether or not to give it a little tree friend right there. But in any case, it was a fun experiment and I enjoyed the process. So I hope you had fun. If you found any value or liked the video, please like and subscribe to help support the channel. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.